welcome back to the channel, and today I'm addressing something that so many people have asked me to address, and this is Nike releasing a plus size mannequin in one of their stores. So there's many things I like about the plus size movement, the plus size modeling industry, and there's many things I hate about it. In this video, obviously we're talking about the Nike plus size mannequin, and to kind of summarize what I think about that, I don't think it's promoting obesity as so many people are claiming. Ultimately, Nike is a sportswear company. It's an activewear company that promotes people to be active, promotes people to play sports. So I don't see why there's an issue if they have a plus size mannequin wearing their plus size range. If anything, I think this is actually positive. It promotes plus size people to actually go and exercise because now there's actually clothing that they can fit into, as opposed to before. A lot of activewear brands cared about plus size people and there was nothing for them to wear, essentially. I've seen a lot of people saying that it glorifies obesity and other things along those lines. This topic has made me want to kind of talk about my views on the plus size industry holistically and what I kind of think about it. And I feel like recently the plus size movement has been on a very big rise, and I like the reason why it started. The reason why the plus size modeling industry is even a thing is because it was created to kind of combat the normal modeling industry, which consisted of a lot of anorexic models, unhealthy models, a lot of size zeros. And just as someone that has worked in fashion, I've seen a lot of models faint at shoots and stuff like that because they've starved themselves to get to certain weights, and it was really unhealthy. And I did like that there was a whole movement of women saying this is unhealthy, stop glorifying unhealthy bodies because they're anorexic. And I liked how there were a lot of models coming up who actually did have healthy bodies. They weren't obese and they weren't underweight as well. I think both are as bad as each other. Being obese or underweight, none of those two things should be glorified. And I feel like in media now, everyone seems to attack people who are anorexic, but people who are obese kind of get this pass. It's this really weird dynamic we're in the 21st century. So some of my favorite plus size models are people like Robin Lawley, Myla Dalbecio, I'm not sure how you say her name. That's just off the top of my head. And someone also is Ashley Graham. And the reason why I like them so much and the message they're preaching is what all three of these women have in common is they're all different shapes. So it's kind of promoting that people come in different shapes and sizes. Like, people aren't just, whether people gain weight or lose weight, they're gonna gain it and lose it in different ways. People store fat in different parts of their body. That's why some people have bigger bums, bigger boobs, bigger hips. There's many different things, there's different bone structures from people of different ethnicities. So there's a big spectrum of how people can look and what healthy looks like, so to speak. And this is why I was a big fan of the plus size modeling industry, because I believe like this whole pushing of anorexic models was kind of dangerous to your everyday person because that was kind of what was glorified, and everyone was aspiring to this really unhealthy body type, which was just to not eat and to exercise as much as you can and not eat until you become skinny and unhealthy. Something people don't actually know about me on this channel is I'm actually a qualified personal trainer, and I have done personal training for a while. And just based on what I know, people seem to have this misconception that size and weight kind of correlate with being unhealthy or whatever. And whereas I can agree that if you're just completely obese, and obviously there's a correlation between size and health, and I can't see how you can be healthy in any way if you're obese. However, in the middle, there are very big people who might be extremely healthy. And to give a good example, I test my resting heart rate quite a lot, and my resting heart rate, it fluctuates between 45 to 49. Now most people would consider that a heart rate of someone who's well trained, someone who exercises quite a bit, which is something I do. However, I personally train people who people would consider overweight. However, they have resting heart rates of 44. Some of these people have run marathons, but they're still big. Some of these people could outrun me in a long distance race easily. Their cardio is way better than my cardio. So you can be healthy at a bigger size. There's this big misconception that if you're skinny, you're healthy, and if you're bigger, you're unhealthy. It's It's this weird misconception. However, one of the big problems I have with this plus size modeling industry is how some of the definitions just keep changing and people don't exactly know what plus size means. And the range of what we call plus size is starting to increase as well. Now, in the plus size industry, there's two big terms they like to use. One of them is body positivity and the other is body acceptance. Now, I'm going to kind of give my thoughts on what I personally believe those terms to mean. So to me, body acceptance consists of things you can't change. It's things like if you're disabled, and body positivity is basically saying, okay, I have one leg, but I'm not going to let it affect me mentally. I'm not going to think I'm less than because I have one leg, because it's something I can't change. It's not like I can just grow another leg back. That's what I consider body positivity. So when you see those plus size activists who have stretch marks, for example, showing their stretch marks and saying that I shouldn't be judged for having stretch marks, blah, blah, blah. I agree with that, because stretch marks, once again, there are reasons, like if you gain too much weight, you could get stretch marks, but there's also other reasons. Like I have stretch marks, but it's for a different reason entirely. The reason I have stretch marks is because when I got big into weightlifting and I wanted to do bodybuilding at some point, and I got really big, and it's gonna sound so like I'm boasting, but I'm really not. But basically, my muscles got big to the point where I was stretching my skin, and then I kind of developed stretch marks. So even now that I'm at a smaller size than I used to be, I still have stretch marks. So there's some things with body acceptance I do agree with. And then in my opinion, what body positivity is saying that whatever size you are, however big you are, you shouldn't feel less than. You shouldn't feel like you're less than human because, let's say, you're big or you're obese or you're overweight or whatever, or you're too skinny, anorexic, whatever. And that is what I agree with. I feel like no one should be judged for being a certain size. No one should be hated for being a certain size. No one should be abused for being a certain size. I hate it when I'm walking on the street and I see overweight people and people are calling them fat and laughing at them and all sorts of things. I don't know why people are just shitty people in this world. Like, just let that person be. Them being big doesn't necessarily affect you, although NHS does spend a lot of money on tackling the problems with obesity. So I guess that argument can be made, if you pay tax, that your taxpayers' money is kind of going to people who could just lose the weight and they wouldn't have health issues essentially that you're paying for. However, the big criticism I have about body positivity is it's all about being positive about your body and your mind state and your mental health and stuff like that. And I feel like if you really care about your body, I believe that you would want to lose weight if you're obese, or you would want to pursue a healthier lifestyle. Because when you're healthier, your mind state is in a better place, you feel in a better place, you feel better. And it's been scientifically proven that doing a lot of exercise does help with a lot of mental aptitude and things to do with academics and thinking and critical thinking and stuff in that sort of regard. So I don't understand this whole body positivity side where they're not really promoting to be healthier, and it's this terms like health at every size, and it's just like, what are these guys talking about? I have no idea what they're talking about. It's also very difficult to understand the goal of the plus size modeling industry when I've seen some certain plus size models who are very popular, and anytime they lose weight, all the plus size models unfollow them on Instagram, they go after them, they send them hate mail. I've seen cases where people lose weight and they're sent death threats, and it's just like, if you're really about body positivity and you want to see people better their lives or be confident about their bodies, why are you so angry when someone loses weight and goes from like an overweight body or an obese body to a healthy body? It's not like they went to an anorexic body, they just went to a healthier body. So it's really hard for me personally to understand what exactly is the goal of the plus size modeling movement when that happens. And I feel like the plus size modeling movement, they've deviated from what I liked about it and from what I thought was positive. I think they deviated too much, and the plus size modeling industry has gone from people who are like size 8s, 10s, 12s, 14s, 16s, saying that you can actually be healthy at a size 16, at a 14. People come in different shapes and sizes, and you can be healthy at many different sizes. And that's what I agreed with. That's what I liked about the plus size modeling industry, and it seemed to have shifted into people who are like size 26s and 28s and 30s, and it's problematic. It's problematic in my opinion. Something I also find extremely weird about the whole plus size movement is when it comes to women and men. So for some weird reason, all this plus size stuff, the plus size campaigns, it's always marketed as women. When I see people talking about plus size, it's always women. Every time I've seen a video about being a plus size influencer or whatever, it's always women. So obviously I'm not saying this is true or not, but is it that men are held to a higher standard when it comes to fitness? And even from just conversations I've had with females that I know, like my friends, they always say that they like men who are muscular, men who are tall, men who are masculine, men who are this. I never heard a woman say they like or they find men who are obese attractive. But then when you flip it, there's kind of a witch hunt for men who on social media say that they're not really attracted to people who are obese, and there's people who say they fat shame and stuff like that. So it's just this weird imbalance of how plus size modeling is pushed when it comes to women and how it's pushed when it comes to men. Obviously, there might be deeper stuff within that, so if you have thoughts about that, definitely comment down your thoughts on that below. So with all the things I've considered, I know there's a lot of people that agree with my standpoint where I think the plus size movement has kind of gotten out of hand. And I think because people associate the plus size movement with people like Tess Holiday and just some other people who are very problematic, I think people lose objectivity when it comes to anything being plus size, which is going back to this Nike mannequin, why so many people were so critical about it and saying, oh, it's promoting obesity, which it isn't. Because ultimately our goal as people is to get more and more people doing exercise, being active. And the only way you can encourage people who are already obese or overweight or quote unquote plus size to exercise, better themselves, be healthier, is to give them active wear that they can fit in. So I don't see how there's any argument that you can objectively say that it's promoting obesity. However, I do agree the movement, as I've said, has gotten way out of hand, and it's kind of why I stay away from it. I don't like talking about plus size issues too much, because like even this video, I know I'm gonna get so much hate and so many people are gonna say I'm fat shaming and blah 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 blah. And that's why when so many people ask me to say my comments or make a video on something that happens to do with plus size modeling, I normally try to stay away from it. But yeah, on that note, comment down below what your thoughts are on this issue. Do you think that Nike is promoting obesity or do you not? Like I said, the aim of this video is not to fat shame, it's just more of a commentary on what my thoughts are. And the only reason I'm even making this video was because it was so highly requested. So on that note, like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're new. If you're already subscribed, turn on your post notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Fashion Roadman, or for more fashion content at Fashion Analyzer. Stay tuned for more videos. I've got so many different videos coming. I've got a recent pickups video coming, which I know so many of you will be happy about because I never talk about my own clothes. Not to drag this video on for too long, but the reason why I hate the styling videos, and in my videos I wear t-shirts and I don't wear like my more out there fashiony pieces, is because this channel is supposed to be about me highlighting the careers of other designers and what makes designers great, or just controversial topics in fashion. So this channel was never meant to be about me, and I feel like if I was wearing like my Andy Milamista stuff in videos, for example, people would focus more on, if this channel becomes too much about me, then it's going to get to a point where people are just going to ask me to style things and what's your style on this and stuff like that. And that's why I've stayed away from styling videos, and I won't do them too much at all, because the focus on this channel is about designers, what makes designers great. And it's not supposed to be about what my style is or what I wear or how I dress. And that's why on Instagram as well, I don't post outfit pictures. much for the same reason. So yeah, on that note, I'm out, man. I'm out.